meet with you. My name is Patty. I am here today to read you a story called The Dancing Princess. This story was written by a gentleman named Rakib Islam, and the person who drew the pictures is Rafiuzzaman Rhythom. We hope you enjoy this story. Many, many years ago, in a kingdom far away, there was a king and a queen. They had 2 daughters, 2 princesses. The elder princess was named Avea, and the younger princess was named Nirmala. The king and the queen always worked for the benefit of their subjects. For this reason, the people of the kingdom loved the royal family wholeheartedly. The 2 princesses were both very talented and skilled at doing many different things. But for both, their favorite thing to do was to dance. Both sisters were very lively and cheerful. Whenever they found the time, they would start dancing to their own beat. One day, the elder princess asked her parents for the chance to dance on a stage in front of everyone. To fulfill their daughter's wish, the king and the queen called on their prime minister and told him to prepare such a program. They told him to announce the program across the kingdom as well, and to invite people to attend. All the important and respectable people of the royal court were given invitations. It was announced to all the people of the kingdom that on the day of the program, they should send a member of their family to the palace, and there will be a banquet. And of course, there will be a dance performance. On the day of the program, everyone arrived at the palace to a festive atmosphere. Everyone ate to their heart and their belly's content. And then the dancing started. 2 dancers from the royal court opened the program with their routine. Then the special part of the program started. The dance by the elder princess. It was the most beautiful performance. All assembled there were entranced by it. Even as she danced, the audience all stood up to clap with the music to show their joyful appreciation. At one point, the princess danced right up to the edge of the stage. She performed a particularly stunning dancing pose before returning to the center of the stage. The audience clapped even harder. In this way, every time Avea went closer to the audience, the applause only got louder and louder. Encouraged and elated by the applause for her dancing, Avea once more came to the very edge of the stage, close to the audience. But when she turned to return to the center, her foot slipped and she tumbled down from the stage. Everyone came running to check on Avea. The first among these were the king, the queen, and Nirmala, the younger sister. The royal physician had been sitting in the front row of the audience. He too quickly came forward along with others. People worked together to carry the princess to her room. The royal physician checked on her and prescribed her the necessary remedies. For many days, Princess Avaya stayed in bed. But with every passing day, her health only got worse. They tried as many ways to heal her as they could think of. They tried everything: the royal physician's medicines and remedies, Ayurveda, even mysticism. But nothing worked. Slowly and surely, Princess Avaya passed into the arms of death. A dark and heavy cloud of grief, like those found during the rainy days of Ashar, fell onto the kingdom. The next few months passed in a haze of anguish for the royal family. Then one day, the king made a proclamation. He declared that there would be no more dancing allowed in the kingdom. He didn't want that anybody else could suffer a tragedy like this ever again. He did not want any other parent to suffer like this. So from onwards, dancing was forbidden in the kingdom. But these days, she hadn't been dancing at all. Just thinking about dancing reminded her of her sister. Besides, after the new royal proclamation, there was no more opportunity to think about dancing. She understood that her father had made such a decision out of great grief. Time passed, and Princess Nirmala grew up. With time, the pain of the sorrow she felt also began to ebb slowly. Even the painful memories of her sister's passing did not hurt quite so deeply anymore. And so, many years passed in this way. Princess Nirmala was now married. She lived in a neighboring kingdom now, after having married that kingdom's prince. Nirmala's time with her new family passed quite pleasantly. In this way, days became months, and months became years. One day, the old king and queen, the prince's parents, handed down all the responsibilities for running the kingdom on the prince and his wife. The newly crowned king and queen performed their duties with great care. All the people of the kingdom loved them. During times of sorrow and loss, the royal couple always stood by their people's side. Sometime after, the king and the queen, our Nirmala, had a daughter together. They named her Zaira. In the blink of an eye, baby Zaira grew up to be 5 years old. Like most children of her age, Princess Zaira was a restless kid. She loved to play in the gardens. She ran around all day, keeping everyone in the palace on their toes. The little Princess Zaira also very much loved to dance. There was no proclamation against dancing in this kingdom. However, a very strange thing started happening. For some unknown reason, whenever Queen Nirmala saw Princess Zaira dancing, she felt a great rage. She found herself thinking, "Why should my daughter dance? Dancing is not something good." Shocking everyone, the queen frequently commanded Zaira not to dance again. Many in the palace noticed this. One day, the king, the queen, and the princess were resting in their room. Suddenly, as she often did, Zaira started dancing. Seeing this, Queen, as if she had no control over herself, screamed at the girl to stop. Hearing her mother scream at her, Zaira started crying. Even the king was greatly surprised by his wife's behavior. Only a few seconds later, the queen regained her senses and wrapped her arms around little Zaira and started crying herself. The king realized that there was some deeply felt reason behind the queen's behavior. After Zaira calmed down somewhat, he sent her off to play elsewhere. He then told his queen, "Let's go take a walk in the garden together." The two strolled along the garden path, walking side by side. The queen was silently weeping, tears falling from her eyes. The king didn't say anything. He only held his queen's hand as they walked. Once she had calmed down somewhat, the queen began to speak of her own accord. "I think I understand why I'm reacting like this whenever I see Zaira dancing." In a soft, loving voice, the king asked her, "Why do you think that is?" The queen told the king everything. She talked about how she had almost forgotten those terrible memories from that awful time in her childhood, but it was as if they were all coming back. She spoke about her elder sister's love for dancing during their childhood, about the accident on the stage, about her father's proclamation banning dancing. Tears ran like rivers from Nirmala's eyes as she spoke, but after a while, she felt as if a great weight had lifted from her soul. Moreover, she remembered she herself had loved dancing no less than her sister had. The king and queen spoke together for a long time. The two decided that they would encourage Princess Zaira in her dancing. The king had been a great drummer to Balchi when he had been younger. One day, he called Zaira to him and started to play the drums for her. Normally, whenever the musicians in the royal court started playing, Zaira could be seen dancing to their tunes in the hallways of the palace. But that day, she seemed to hesitate. Seeing the look on her daughter's face, the queen came forward. She held her daughter lovingly and encouraged her to dance. Breaking free of her hesitation, but still with some stiffness, the little princess started to dance. But within a few moments, she had forgotten any hesitation. Her little feet danced along with pure joy. In the rush of the moment, she even pulled her mother into the center of the room with her to dance with her. Father kept on playing. Even though she didn't want to, the queen went along with her daughter's insistence. Inside, she was greatly anxious about breaking the band put inside herself for so many years. To find some support, Nirmala looked back at Zaira's father. His face was flushed with happiness, emotion, and encouragement. Slowly, Queen Nirmala started to dance. In a few moments, she was laughing as she held her daughter's hands, dancing together. Ever since that day, on the same date, there was a festival of dance at the palace. People from all over the country came to join. What happened then? Then the king, the queen, and the princess lived happily ever after. The end.